Okay. Again, thank you for coming to the Midpoint workshop. I'm gonna first give you a short presentation, so maybe less than 30 minutes. As one of the Midpoint workshop tradition, so usually we invite a speaker. But I'm kind of new. I just took over as the MSE coordinator this summer, and I try to invite someone, but it's not as easy, particularly when money is involved. So I kind of volunteer. Some of you probably heard this. The CMMI, they switched to upgraded to version 3.0. So I'll just give you a quick brief. So some of you learned this in one of some of your previous classes. Okay, about 30 minutes. Probably we're not going to get into all the detail. Okay, so hopefully this is also represent the new trend in industry. Okay, so what's new? What's the value? Okay, how this is different from the previous model. So hopefully I can answer those questions in a short presentation. Okay, basically we start with the brief history. So let's see where this CMMI come from. This is like a 34 years of CMMI. So what happened in the past 30 some years? And let's look at what are the main content of 3.0. So what we have, and you probably learned a process assessment appraisal, how they conduct a 3.0 appraisal now, and also what's the future of CMMI. The basic idea of CMMI, the basic value of CMMI is very simple. So we all know Humphrey. Okay, so I actually got an opportunity to communicate with him before. He's an extremely nice gentleman. Okay, so in the 80s, okay, so he actually wrote a very important paper. So in the paper, he's talking about a massive, complex system, in particular, like the Strategic Defense Initiative, Star Wars. So most of you probably not know this. This is actually happening in the 80s. Okay, and a lot of people say that's impossible. I remember at the time I was a graduate student. So we actually have a kind of a workshop. There's an open debate through television. So we, as a student, invited to watch. A lot of them say that's not possible because of complexity of the software. So we are talking about you have thousands software engineers work together, okay, and written extremely large, complex system. So I remember some say, how the hell are you going to validate test? And you're not going to launch a real missile to yourself, then you see how the best thing you can do is simulation. How do you know it's going to work? So there are a lot of debate, okay? And particularly quality. Can we trust, okay, what we develop? And Humphrey say could be programmed with high quality and reliability. Two conditions needed. Number one, we need a strong technical team. That's always priority number one. No process, no technology. It can replace strong technical team. And second, that use a highly disciplined development process. Okay. And Humphrey, he was a software director in IBM. He worked there for many years. After he retired, he actually accomplished the most important contribution to the community. Okay, and he worked for SCI, and then he built CMM. Okay, so this process, okay, became CMM. Okay, so I think you use it. I recall we used this book as a textbook for 544. Okay, so even though this is a very old book, it's still one of the best. Okay, so you should read over and over again. So obviously a lot of things change, but the basic idea, okay, the core principle still define how we build high quality software. You believe this? That's basically define the value of CMMI. The quality of software largely depends on the quality of the process you use to develop the product. Okay, so this is basically why, you can say this is the law. This is basically define the value of CMM. That's why process improvement is important. That's why in order to build a consistent, predictable quality product, we need to figure out a pattern. How should we do things? Those things should not happen by accident. Should be this type of, this team following this approach, we should be able to achieve an expected outcome. So that's the basic idea within what we know. Okay, so it's not like innovation is obviously very important. Okay, now here's the history. 1991. Actually, the CMMI came out in the late 80s. Okay, CMU, DOD actually had a request for proposal because the DOD has trouble with software quality, right? The budget always overrun. What the vendor deliver is just horrible. They say, how are we going to do this? They try, 60, 70. In the 80s, say, we cannot resolve the problem within DOD. So we need to go to the society. Okay, so they have a call for proposal at CMU, basically when the contract. So they basically, established SEI. Okay, they hired Humphrey to lead this. I think that's 86. Okay, and so around 1991, the first version of CMMI is released and also used by the industry. 93, we have a 1.1. Now remember, our field, everything changed. The way we build software changed. Okay, so that's why the CMMI always change. It's a dynamic model. You start from beginning. Okay, then 1.1 basically came out, improved based on all the feedback. 1997, and then we move up to 2.0. The 2.0 never released. The reason is because the DOD say now, we need to apply those good practice using software also in system. The way we do things should not be just software. So that's why in 2002, then we have CMMI. Okay, this is called integration. It's not just software anymore, even though most of the user of CMMI still software organization. Then 2006, we have 1.2. 2010, I was involved in that one. They made a lot of change to refine the high maturity. CMMI level 4 and the level 5 and 10. There are a few other models also include. One is called the service, CMMI for service, and also CMMI for supply management. Both of those models are not as popular as development. Okay, then 18. So this is about 6 years ago, and 2.0 is released. Okay. And then it's a dynamic model. Basically, after 2.0, there's no CMMI book anymore. Everything's online. Anytime there's some new things, they just modify. And so basically, people can access. You have to pay through online. And one thing, it's kind of important, they add agile contest. Okay, so what we do, if we, work in an agile approach, how we accomplish the intent, value of CMMI through agile approach. Last year, 3.0 added. Okay, what's new? The key is basically 8 new domains. So we talk about integrated software development. If we just focus on software, they also add the DevOps, security, SecOps as one of the contexts. Agile is broadened. Okay. Okay, so there are a lot of misunderstanding of CMMI, even by some of our students. It's kind of important to know the limit of CMMI. CMMI is not a standard. Okay, obviously, there's no one way to build software. So you have software built for internet company, for DoD, right? Mission critical, not so mission critical. Size of 5 years. Size of 2 days. You think we're going to have the same way to managing them? No, there's no standard. Okay, so number one, not a standard. Number two, it's not a prescription. Software development is not that simple. It's not like I cannot define everything. It's like, how do you make a hamburger? So I write a recipe. Okay, CMMI is not a recipe. No one can define, say, 1,000 step. You follow the 1,000 step, you put in the requirement, software coming out. Nothing. You look at all your software project you did. No two projects went through the same process. Okay, I play bridge. I never got two identical hand all my life. Okay, and the CMMI is not a compliance checklist. It's not compliance driven. It should be value driven. Okay, so your goal is not because meeting the CMMI standard. Your goal is using CMMI as a tool, fit into your context, improve the way you build your software. Very important. CMMI is not silver bullet. Okay, so it has value. It's not like a level 5 that you're going to do everything. The SEI now, Osaka, CMMI Institute, they never, make any commitment. Say if you're level 5 means what kind of quality? No guarantee. Okay, it's just basically it's an improvement tool. I already talked about it's not a how-to manual. Okay, it's not the CMMI. We have a process area. But now we call that practice area. Because process area is not process. So why you call it? So we changed to practice area. So it's not a set of implementable process. I have a 17 process PA. Doesn't mean I have to create 17 process, to match each. You do it based on your own context. Okay, so what is CMMI? So those PA represent some proven characteristics of the effective way of building software. Okay, so those are the reference, but you have to look at your own context, see where and what is a good fit. Okay, so this is actually extremely important. So what is the CMMI 3.0? Okay, so the ecosystem. Okay, so this is actually similar to 2.0. It's a better CMMI architecture. So we talk about architecture. So now we have like 5 components. We have a model, we have adoption guidance, we have system and tools, training, certification, appraisal method. If you look at it, we have 5 separate things. If you basically delink as much as you can. It's a good principle when you design architect, right? So if I change the model, I don't have to change the other part. I change the other part, I don't have to change, So basically, those are the 5 different parts. Obviously, the most important one is the model. Okay, and give you some idea. So what we have in CMMI now, this is actually different from 1.3. Starting from 2.0, this has been evolving. The CMMI team, they basically look at a company. What are the important area or competencies we need to have in order to build a successful company, business, organization? Okay, so they come up with 12 area. So they call that capability area. For each capability area, say, okay, now we need to have some practice area. So what, specific practice area that can contribute achieving that specific capability. So the way we divide the model content is, first, we have 4 categories, right? So there are 12 capability area. You don't have to memorize anything. In my class, you don't need to memorize anything, okay? 12 capability area belong to 4 different categories: doing, managing, enabling, and improving. So if you think about this, CMMI sometimes is a methodology. You can apply this almost anywhere. Think about it. Doing, managing, enabling, and improving. 4 categories. So you want to build a good career, you want to build a good team, you want to build a good project, you want to build a great organization. Those are the 4 categories you have to consider. And then we have the following for managing. What capability area we have? We have managing business resilience. Resilience is the very important term. Okay, managing the workforce, the people, right? Plan and managing the work. So managing, they divided into 3 different categories. Now, for each capability area, now what do you have? You have practice area. So those are some you're familiar with some of them, right? So like managing business resilience, then some of them you're probably not familiar with. We have a continuity, we have incident resolution and prevention. This 2PA actually used for service domain. Yes, that's why probably you're not familiar with. There's the risk and opportunity management, maybe you're familiar with. And then you have managing workforce. One thing you're familiar with, probably organizational training. Okay, hey, what they have enable virtual work. This is the result of COVID. Okay, so we are talking, people now work remote. Then you have teams spread out all over the different country, different continent, different time zone. How do you make them work effectively? Okay, and then we have a workforce empowerment, people management. Okay, and planning, managing work you're familiar with, estimation, monitor, control, and planning. Then we have doing. Okay, so I'm not going to go to all the details. So you have some idea. We have deliver service. We have engineering. So those are the ones you're familiar with. We have ensuring quality. And we have selecting, managing supply. Okay, now let's talk about ensuring quality. What do I mean? What's quality? What practice area related to quality? Number 1, if you look at it, requirement development and management. How do we define quality? Create value for customer. If you don't understand requirement, you don't understand what user need, whatever you do, useless. No value, no quality is not just about defect. I could have defect, but my product generate value for a customer. Great. Acceptance test, 0 defect. No one like your feature. No quality. I have this belief. Doing the right thing is more important than doing things right. I could do it the wrong way, but I'm doing the right thing. It beats I'm doing the right way, but I'm doing the wrong thing. What I mean, I'm doing things right. My testing, talk about testing, right? Great, cover everything. My review, great. My estimation, to the point, except what you're building is wrong. My testing, not 100%. Okay, my estimating is off target. Okay, I'm late, but I'm building the product user need, even though I'm a little bit slower. Which one you choose? Okay, so requirement is quality. Number 1. So after that, that's the basis. Then how do we ensure quality? Peer review. Quality does not start from testing. Too late. Quality is built in. Quality start early, so we have the quality gate. Okay, testing depends on what? You have to have the source code. Okay, but software is not about just building the source code. I hope we all understand that. 0 coding, right? Low level coding. Okay, so AI probably going to replace all of that. Okay, so what's more important? Business model, requirement, high-level design, architect, okay, and the way how we ensure our product is easier to modify, it's easier to maintain. Okay, those are the important skills. So therefore, peer review become important. Right? So I got a requirement before I start doing the design, all the work. Let's see, are we doing the right thing? Should we have all the key relevant stakeholders? Let's look at it. Okay, and that's quality control, right? After we finish the design, are we implementing all the requirement? Can we provide a solid foundation for coding? You don't do it too late, right? Just wrong and just correct right away. You're writing the code, right? Are we following the coding standard? refactoring out, do we have any logic errors? So before we do the testing, even unit test. So sometimes it's a good idea, let's have a quick review. Okay, so basically pure review, make sure you make quality control from the beginning to the end. Then plus testing. Then we have verification and validation in software testing. You have internal testing. We talk about everybody needs to do some testing, right? You do internal tests, you do continuous integration, particularly with CI/CD, okay, a TDD, test-driven development, okay? So, basically it's, but usually it's still a good practice to have an independent, someone doing the, a white box testing, okay, from a user standpoint, and also what's validation? Do I assume we all know what's the difference between validation and verification? Okay, both, verification, we're doing things right. Each feature works. Okay, so I build a website, click, work, verification. What's validation? Oh, I have 2 million people gonna do it at the same time. Is it gonna work? Then when 2 million try, remember what happened to Obama's the insurance, whatever the website? It's very huge, right? So they spent so much money. They launched the site. When all the people, tried to enroll at the same time, what happened? Crashed. They did verification. They never done validation. Okay, so you have to see what's the context, what's the scenario those features are used. So this is does it make sense? This for a quality assurance. Quality of the product depends on the quality of process. Are we doing the right thing, the process? So you add all of them together. Now we are talking about quality. Okay, not just one. You can apply this idea to all of them, ensuring quality, selecting, managing supply, enabling. Now we have a managing data, managing security, safety, extremely important. Supporting implementation, category improving. Okay, and then we have this two, improving performance, sustaining habit and persistence. This is probably, if you only did 1.3, you probably don't know this. So we should basically cover governance and implementation infrastructure. Make it a habit. Make doing the right thing easy. Don't make it hard. Okay, so you have the concept of improving, you have the concept of learning. I'm gonna, when I conclude, you're probably gonna hear me, what's CMMI to me? Lifelong, live and learn. Okay, and so in the 3.0, so we have a 17 core PA, which means I don't care what domain you use, they are gonna be there. So those you're familiar with. Okay, so even in 1.3, very similar. Okay, and now the difference is now we have 8 domains. We have 8 CMMI model, but we put them together. We have data, we have development, we have people, we have safety, we have security, we have service, we have supply, we have virtual. What that mean? How we use it? Okay, this is actually, I think, reflect some of the trend. Security becomes very important, right? When you build software, I don't know any of you develop software that requires some security feature. How you handle that? Do you have a separate security group try to support all the product team? Or you build the security feature into the process? In the requirement, consider all the security feature. In the design, right? In all your testing, can you integrate that into your process? That's the way to ensure it's considered, is done in your product development, right? Safety, same thing. Do any mission critical product development. Data, so some project maybe is data driven, right? You particularly doing, you work for bank, financial, you're doing some of the internet stuff, there's tremendous amount of data. The project is data driven. How do you integrate that into the development? People, obviously, is important. It's all about people. Okay. Actually, talking about people, so later I'm going to talk about 5 547 software measurement. Deming has a key statement. Here we talk about SPC, statistical process control. Understand variation. We understand what's important. What's the important factor, for particularly in software innovative development. So it say at the end is all about people, because usually people will decide the deviation of the outcome and also the performance. Okay, and so we have a model of people, security, service, supply. Nowadays, everybody use supply, right? You just do your core, and then you outsource, or then you work with some other company, provide some solution. And virtual. This is a result of COVID. How do you manage people working different sides? Right? How do you ensure everybody, so there are a lot of, you need a platform, you need the mentality, you need the culture, you need a way to track, you need a way to basically enabling. Okay, so what's the value of 3.0? You can look at what's needed in your situation. You probably can start with development, that most people got. Then you can integrate other part that has value for you. Make it a part of your process. That's how I see 3.0 can help you. By the way, it's dynamic. So later on, maybe more. Okay. And those are some of the PAs for different domain, right? So for service, we have 4. You have 17 plus 4. You got a service domain. Supply, we only have SAM 1. So 17 plus SAM, you got a supply. Development, same PITS, a product integration, technical solution with 17, 19. That's most people use, right? People, we have like 1 workforce empowerment, plus 17, you got people domain, right? E-safe, safety, we only have one enabling safety, okay? And the virtual, we have 1 enable virtual work. And data, we got 2, data quality and data management. And security, we got 2, managing MST, managing security threat and vulnerability. This is basically cybersecurity stuff. There is another, some of you work at DoD, there's a cybersecurity maturity model developed by DoD. If you work for DoD, you must be level 3 before you can bid DoD project. Okay, so it's kind of related with MST. Then we have ESEC, enabling security. So this is pretty much overview of 3.0. The level you already know. Okay, so what's level 1, what's level 2, what's level 3, level 4, level 5, I assume you learn. But let me give a quick overview, the basic idea. See how we evolve. Level 1, mostly we do things, everybody. When you build a product, you try to do something, you always try to do the best you can. Our field, we have a group of very smart people, very dedicated people. Okay, so you try to do the right, try to achieve the goal, try to achieve the intent. But level 1 means what? We are not good at summarizing, learning what we have done. So we just do the best we can. So the success depends on what? Depends on who is doing this. And so I have a good customer, good manager, good resources, good environment. Hey, successful outcome. But I have the wrong people, whatever, some aspect, you got different result. So level 1, not predictable. A lot of headache for manager. What's level 2? Level 2 is kind of manager. So usually this is like a project level. We start to learn, right? So, let me give you just one example to illustrate level 1, level 2. Suppose, like this morning, I try to, let's use a different example. This is not the best example. Okay, I try to go, I'm new to the city, right? I need to go to airport to pick up a friend because I got here first, okay? And I look at, I'm in rush because the plane will land, I need to be there quickly, okay? Yeah, and I'm in a rush and I think I know where I'm going. I have some memory. Okay, so I just, hit the wheel as hard as I can. I drive as fast as I can. Hopefully, I'll get to the right place, right? So this is basically level one. I have the good intent, okay, but I'm busy. I don't have enough resources. People screaming. Go. What's level two? Okay, I know, busy. I'm gonna stop. I use my cell phone. Airport, GPS. Oh, okay, so this is a better way. See, I spend a little more time. But I think I might wasted time because I already know. They tell me basically what I expected. But in many cases, this probably correct my mistake, right? So it's basically make the difference between success and not success. So manager means what? I will integrate some management work because in a lot of software development, there's no management. Let's start coding. Okay, what's the requirement? Let's do the coding. Let's do some testing. Let's deliver. Didn't work, bring back. Okay, oh, the architecture sucks. Okay, well, we worry about later. Not maintainable, who cares? That's not our job. Okay, see, you're just busy. I'm not saying not work hard. I'm not saying not smart. But you are missing some of the important things. Smart people do not always do smart things. That's life. That's why we have Agile. That's why we have CMMI. We have to remind you, when you truly understand CMMI, one word, common sense. Has nothing to do with appraisal. I'm supposed to do this because this will bring me success. What is level three? Level three called define. What does that mean? Level three is, oh, now I need to basically reuse asset. Some of you work for the same company, you build the same product for 20 years. No, you're not that old. For 10 years, 5 years, what do you learn? What can be reused? If they all in people's mind, we're in trouble. People come and go. Where is the asset? That's why we need to have a process. What's process? That's basically a platform that will allow us what? To basically collect the proven practice that will work in our practice. This is how we do test. That's how we review test cases. That should be the criteria for this. When we do this, this is what we need to consider. Those are not burdens. Those will make you work more effectively. Reduce, you know what's the biggest problem in software development? Rework. Unnecessary rework. Every bug is a rework. When you're doing user acceptance tests, every time they say, that's not what I want, rework. Okay, if your amount of rework is less than 50%, you're pretty good. You know how bad, you probably can tell how bad that is. Okay, so software engineer is the least efficient comparing to other engineers, many different reasons, even though we have been making a tremendous amount of progress. Okay, and level three, standard. Like they call that asset library, reusable stuff. Okay, smart people is a mature person. Smart organization is a learning organization. You need to have a vehicle. Where are you going to put what do you learn? Process is the platform. Okay, so process basically represent our best understanding, doing the things, performing our daily work. Okay, that's level three. Your best understanding may not be the best. Okay, so always better way. That's why we have improvement, right? So level four is quantitatively managing. Level four, basically, now we use a more scientific way using statistical approach to manage our work. So we try to understand if there's an issue or not. Okay, and instead of you based on experience, based on the past lessons learned, we use data. Okay, so let me give you an example. Suppose you're doing a testing, right? Independent testing. The defect density is 1,000 lines of code. okay? So you got like, say, 18 defect per 1,000 line of code. What that tell you? Is that too high or is that too low? Does this indicate any problem? If you're level 2, level 3, you have no idea. Okay, but if you're level 4, then you use, we call that, later on, in 547, we're going to cover that. We're going to use like a baseline. We use a control chart. Then we would know if this is too high in our context, if it's too high or too low. Why this information is important? Because I can use this information to see if something goes wrong. Is there a potential risk? So we can get involved early. Ensure we can achieve the project goal, with high probability. No guarantee. Okay. And what is optimizing? Level 5. Okay. Level 5, does that mean in CMMI level 5 highest? Does it mean everything's perfect? Absolutely not. Okay, so level 5, there's still a lot of problem. What's the core of level 5? You make every defect. You make every major problem improvement opportunity. A lot of work. So I would love to see. So everybody got a what? Defect management tool, right? What information you have there? Most of you have what? Okay, so this is the location. Which module, right? Why I need that? So I can fix it. Right? Okay. You have a severity, right? Severity. Why I need severity? So I know, oh, this one I have to fix. If it's not high, if at one time, I'm probably not going to fix. I release with a problem, right? What else do you have? Oh, which test case identify this? So allow me, test case is good. Okay. If that's all you have, you're wasting a valuable learning opportunity. Okay. So, two questions you should always ask when you get level 5. It's part of mindset. How come our review and testing couldn't discover this? Where should I cover this? That means what? Your review, your lake. Your testing, obviously something's missing. Is that because of the environment? Or is that because, our coverage has a hole? But, you want in the future, I don't want the user to see the same thing, right? That's process improvement. Okay, if you want to look at one step further, if this is really a common problem, right? So you use a Pareto chart, different type. Wow, we have 30% from like this. Then we probably should look at why we inject that defect. What's the problem? Is that requirement? Not clear? If it's a skill or if it's coding? And then we need to look at our process, see how we can improve to prevent similar defect occur again. What is that? That's learning. Okay. That's improving. That's common sense. Right? So this is basically level 5. No big deal. You should do this anyway. Okay, but except now we use data to tell me where I can get highest ROI, return on investment. Okay. So appraisal, we have different type of appraisal, and I don't want to spend too much time. Most of you probably don't care. Okay, so we have like 4 different type of appraisal. There's a benchmark. So you want a rating, you do a benchmark. You do a sustainment, so this is like an ISO. The first appraisal, say you do a level 3, right? And the next time, it's good for 3 years. You want to do appraisal again, still level 3, nothing changed, you can do a sustainment. So it's smaller scope, but it's good, for 2 years. You don't have to devote a lot of resources. Now we have APR, appraisal plan, action plan reappraisal. I'm not going to discuss this. Now there's the evaluation, which just basically is a gap analysis. There's no rating, okay? And now the major change is this, if you cannot read it, don't worry about it. It's not that easy to read. The CMI, they always do a bad job explain, and present the content. 3.0, the biggest change is this. Now, when you apply for appraisal, you can appraise as many domains as you like. I can do 1, I can do 2, at most I can do 8, one appraisal. So in the past, if you do 2 domain service development, you have to do 2 separate appraisal. Now you can do 1. Because they're going to save you a lot. And also you can consolidate. Some of the core can support both. So which basically encourage integration. Okay, so this is the biggest difference. If you're really interested, you can send me an email. So this is but the basic idea here is, and it's very flexible in terms of appraisal. And also we basically can conduct 1 appraisal for any possible combination of model scope. Okay, what's the future of AI? 1 statement, the integration with AI. CMMI Institute this year, next year, there's only 1 plan. They already established a workforce. Okay, AI totally will change the way we build software. A lot of things happening. Probably a lot of you already experienced that. The use context, the scenario, right? So some like coding copilot, okay, the ChatGPT and different things. So you do testing, scraping, automatic generation, and test case generation, and the code review, maintenance, identification, and all the different things. All kind of stuff. SolidWorks identified 86 situation, different AI technique can be used in software development. So this is going to change the way we build software. So you're young, you're very lucky, in terms of technology, this absolutely is the best time of any human history. And so AI, probably as big as internet, going to change the way, I guess, how we do our work and how we live. And also, but obviously there's a lot of challenge that we try to manage at the same time. Always treat innovation as opportunity. It's not a burden. It's fun. Okay? It's exciting. Okay, so I wish, so this is so good to be young, particularly this time. You look at human history for past, I don't know, 4,000 years, same, like, it's life, same life, And now, it's look at the way you live comparing to when we start MSE 20 years ago. Okay, so we have 20 cohort. Okay, so different, right? The cell phone, okay, the way you build computer, the DevOps start 2011. That made such a huge change. AI, I'm probably going to change a lot of other things. And also it happened really fast. MSE, we actually have a long history with CMMI. When we start MSE, 1 thing we did, integrate CMMI, we actually work with SEI. They gave us the right to integrate into different courses. And at the time, you probably know, at the time, BOD is very high with CMMI, right? So that's why initially we have a lot of students from Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed, and so on. Okay, our first cohort, we have 47. I remember I have to do a presentation in Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed, all the BOD in LA. First cohort, 1 month, we start late. We got 47 students. Okay, so because they say, well, you can train for us because they have to get training within the company. Okay, so you're doing for us, great. Okay, and also this is one of the separator at the time, us from other software engineering. Okay, so basically, if you look what's good of CMMI, we look at software development from system point of view, give you the system view. Not just one part. You're all going to work on one area, but you need to have the big picture. What's upstream? What's downstream? What's user? Okay, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm doing coding, I'm just coding." Okay, I'm doing just testing. Okay, and 2007, we actually had in the past we have a very close relation with SEI. CMU. They actually conduct their first high maturity workshop on our campus. Okay, so which is at time is kind of important, and we use 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and then because of the money they require students to pay, we just stop at 1.3. 1.3 is free, okay, so anybody can download. As I mentioned, in the middle, to me, CMMI means live and learn, because there's new stuff coming all the time. CMMI is a good platform. So they try to integrate a lot of stuff. DevOps, DevSecOps, security, integration, right? AI, microservice. So it gives a lot of other stuff. CI/CD, automation, end-to-end platform, all of them. And so this will be, I want to learn everything. Overall picture, where do I find it? Hey, this is not a bad place. Okay, so represent the both research. That's why it's a dynamic model. That's why they don't have book anymore. Published book take a long time. Okay, so that's why. Okay, so if you they just say anytime make a change, we just update online. Okay, then people can see it right away. In order to balance stability with innovation, and they actually keep the core, the 17 core PA relatively stable. They add other stuff like context specific, agile, DevOps, and also maybe new domain. Okay, so that way is a good balance. Okay,